I wanted to talk just a little bit about tie downs and bonnets or brain chains, whatever you want to call them. Um, I don't start out with a horse and say, ooh, I hope I can run it in a tie down or a bonnet. I don't want to have to run them in either one of them, but if you need them, they're a great tool. Um, a lot of horses will need it for balance. Some just flat need it to keep their head down a little bit. But something that now this is what I do. I know a lot of ropers will have them tight, and they are doing it for a different reason. But when I stick a tie down on a horse, when I hook it up underneath here, like I don't want that strap. This doesn't have a hobble on it, but like right here where it's wanting to go right now, that's too tight. I mean, that's too tight. She starts trying to run or do anything, it's gonna upset her. So what I do, or what I like, it kind of depends on the horse too. Like some of them, I want to run. If I have a tie down on them, it is strictly only because every once in a while they want to pop their nose up. So it'll be a longer tie down to just help them if they're wanting to pop that nose. Well, this strap is a little bit, she's long necked, but I want it to where it'll almost touch right there. That way it's a little bit more natural for them. But again, the ropers are going to have it tight, but they're in a different event. They need that for different reasons. That's just me and what I like. I really like these, just a different type. This is a rawhide nose, a rawhide tie down, just different reasons. It just kind of depends. I always let the horse tell me. I really like a wire tie down, but the same thing, you definitely don't want to take this wire tie down and put it so tight the horse can't get backed off it, because then you'll have a ridge and a hole ate in their nose, and then that's terrible. But they will sure back off of one of these faster. And occasionally, if I've got one, like I use the round pin a lot. But if I've got a horse that just keeps pushing and bumping and all that, I'll stick this on them. And I'll work them in the round pin first. This is just like your gag bits or your hackamores. Don't stick this on a horse for the first time ever and lead them out here and just get on and ki-yi and think it's all going to work out. You run them around a round pin, you lunge them, you let that horse feel this and get used to it first before you put your body at risk on it. But this is a great piece of equipment as well. This here is your head setter tie down. It works more on the pole, and sometimes this strap, you just got to really use your what you think and kind of adjust it here on what you think. But these are very good. Now this nose band will flap down some too, but you're working more on the pole pressure versus this. A good piece of equipment. Something that is very controversial, sometimes covers of magazines, if the rider's using a bonnet, the magazine cover will erase it. I think they're a great tool, and to be honest with you, my hands are better with a horse with a bonnet on versus one with a tie down on, for me, because to me a tie down can stiffen a rib more than I want, and I can still get the elevation I need. That'll help keep them in the ground, or if a horse is real climby, it'll help keep them in the ground as well. There's a ton of different kinds. These are hard to find a really, really good one that's really, really balanced, that is how you need them. These are L&W, and I like them because this is the one with the chain, and I've heard people say, oh my god, the chain. It's not no big deal. It's a flat chain. It lays right here. It's not hurting me. It's for balance and stability and to keep them listening and in the ground and that sort of thing. I really like this. Is just a nylon one. It's a very good one also. My favorite is this leather one. I didn't get it till a couple years ago, but I love this thing. But something we're not ever showed exactly how to place these, put them on so that they're beneficial. You'll see people at barrel races, myself included, it's happened to, I tried to make my own bonnet, it didn't work out. you know, you're making a run and the chain or leather or whatever falls down in their eyeballs, and then they're flinging like this, and you kind of got a wreck on your hand, and you can't blame them, you know. But how I want them, your buckle here is in the back. I want them sitting even right here in the middle of those dimples. And you want to be sure and play with it, but make dang sure bounce it around if you need to. By bouncing it around, you'll know how they're moving so that it cannot flop down in their eyes. When I put a bridle on a horse that I'm putting a bonnet on, I always set the headstall behind the strap on the bonnet. That always keeps your bonnet in place. If you just put the headstall in front of it, it can cause the bonnet to do this, and then your horse goes to moving, and it jacks it up high, and you don't have the effect and stuff if it's up high at all that you do. It needs to sit right in the middle of that temple all the time. And then on the strap here, now I'll have this strap. This strap will be tighter than, say, your tie-down straps, because it's a shorter distance to that pole than it is to the nose. And then I always get their head up. And, you know, I probably, if I got to riding this mare, if I stepped out here and rode her a minute, I would probably end up taking that up a notch, maybe two. This leather, when it gets hot, it'll stretch and stuff too. So you've got to, you'd have to take it up more then. Just kind of be aware of your equipment, where it's at. But you want it, just like these bits and stuff, balanced to stay in place. You know, don't be afraid. Bounce that sucker around before you get on that horse. And for sure with these, again, do not put them on a horse and step on them. Stick them in a round pen, lunge them, do something. Let that horse feel that for a little bit before you get on them, unless you know for sure that horse has been ridden in one before. But to me, these help with one, climbing in the front end, one, getting strung out. And sometimes, you know, problem horses that just don't want to listen, you can get them. It just helps them. This mare here was real bad to bouncing her hind end when I first got her. And, but she didn't want to run either, so I didn't want to lock her down with a tie down, plus she hated a tie down. So I rode her for a long time with this, and it really helped her. Plus, if they're getting in the ground and handling stuff and they start learning how to handle things, it gives them their confidence back. So I don't think this is a terrible piece of equipment. I think it's phenomenal. I think there's a lot of uneducated people out there as to these, but they're worth getting to be educated. But again, seek a professional. If you don't know, you have the least bit of reservation about it, get to somebody that knows, that's used them, and let them show you the proper way to use it, and then you'll be set.